Hello everyone, in this tutorial I would like to show you why I say you can use the formula minus b divided by 2a to solve any perfect squared quadratic equation. Alright, remember I said if you are given a quadratic equation like x squared minus 6x plus 9 equal to 0, you can always use the formula x equal to minus b divided by 2a. B is the coefficient of x, a is the leading coefficient, which is 1 in this case. So this is equal to minus, then b, which is minus 6, divided by 2 multiplied by 1. If you simplify this, you're going to get 3. It means that the value of x is equal to 3. Though sometimes we used to say 3 twice, but it doesn't make sense. 3 twice is the same thing as 3. So why do we use this formula minus b divided by 2a? Remember, the general formula used to solve any form of quadratic equation is x equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of what? B squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Okay. Pay attention to the square root of b squared minus 4ac. B squared minus 4ac is what we call the discriminant. And this discriminant plays a vital role in deciding the form or the nature of the zeros or roots of any quadratic equation. If you simplify the discriminant b squared minus 4ac and you realize a value greater than 0, which means a number, positive number greater than 0, then that particular quadratic equation has real and distinct roots, meaning that quadratic equation has two real solutions of different kind. So the two numbers are different. When you simplify the discriminant b squared minus 4ac and you realize a number equal to 0, then it implies that that particular quadratic equation has real and equal roots. And it only happens when you have a perfect squared quadratic equation. And lastly, when the discriminant is less than 0, meaning the number here is negative, then we have no any real root, right? We call it what? Imaginary root. So since all the perfect square quadratic equations have a discriminant of 0, so what's the use of the discriminant? It is of no use since it is 0. Square root of 0 is 0, plus or minus 0 is nothing. So you only have minus b divided by 2a left because this is 0. And this is true for all perfect squared quadratic equations. And another thing, remember, if you graph perfect square quadratic equations, they only touch one point on x-axis. So for example, this particular quadratic equation that has a solution of 3, assuming this is where you have 3, it only touches the point on x-axis at 3 and takes a turn. It will never cross the x-axis. If it crosses the x-axis, then it implies that we have two real and distinct roots. And sometimes, it may not even touch the axis, that is the x-axis. That is when you have imaginary roots. So you can see that it only touches a point on x-axis and takes a turn. Sometimes you may see something like this. The difference between this and this is an open up parabola, while this is an open down parabola. And this happens when the leading coefficient is negative. But once the leading coefficient is positive, it is always open up. And if it is perfect squared, it is going to touch a point and takes a turn. So either graphically or by the use of discriminant, you can determine whether it has one solution or two solutions or imaginary. Yes.